My friend, we've done so much great work together here through this Operation Greatness chapter series entitled Raising Humans. This is our third and final session, our chapter meeting. This is Operation Greatness podcast number 11. And we started with number 1, Raising Humans number 1, where we looked at that essay from my book Reignited America, and that was, well, if we think of like the coin, raising humans, and there's the positive side of the coin and there's also the negative side of the coin. In our first and second Raising Humans installment, coaching lesson, chapter meeting for our Operation Greatness chapters, we looked at how you are here to lead, inspire, transform, and liberate, LITL, doing a little more today than you did before in being of greater service to everyone connected with you, all your online friends, as well as everyone in your local community, as the chapter leader, as the inspired visionary leader. You're leading your own Operation Greatness chapter, and you're reaching everyone you can, which means everyone connected with you. And this is the higher purpose of your life. This is your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma. And so because everything is frequency, and we are all connected, and so like I think of you as maybe a white blood cell in the organism that is the earth, just as, a white blood cell in your body goes to wherever there is, I don't know if this is, let's just look at the principle behind this. I don't know how accurate this is. My impression is that white blood cells go to where there is an infection or an issue, like, bad bacteria or germs or whatever. And, I know people don't believe in germ theory and, whatever. But the principle is that the white blood cells go to that area to combat any infection or threat. And that's kind of like what you are in the organism or the body of, I call her Mama G, Mother Earth, Mama Gaia. And in other words, because we're all connected, we're all part of the system that is our planet. And I didn't even know this was going to come out of here, but this is very interesting itself with you. So you're not alone. And that's one of the core messages in all of this, and as we are all bettering ourselves, stepping up, not holding back, playing small. No, we are being great because greatness is required of us, because greatness is of God. You fulfilling your destiny is your purpose. As we've said in this message, I want you to really feel this, know this, live by this, demonstrate this. Your life is your gift from God. And what you do with your life is your gift to God. So you cannot play small or hold back or limit yourself in any way, because that would be denying God. Like, how could you have that much arrogance or be so selfish to even think it's possible that you could limit the unlimited? Because what is God other than the infinite and unlimited? God is the word that I use personally to describe what that is. And remember, omnipresence means present everywhere. There is nowhere God is not, including within you. And that's why I think this was in Raising Humans number 1, we stressed, and I've done other podcasts about that as well, or we've had other Operation Greatness chapter meetings about that, your work, we start with your work is receiving God, and your purpose then is extending God. And what does that mean? It means extending love. And what does that mean? Being of greater service to more people. That's why you're here, and that's your source of happiness, joy, fulfillment, well-being, peace of mind, success, prosperity, impact, meaning, contribution. All of that comes as a result of you honoring your reason for being, which is being of greater service to more people. So the more you are serving, the more you're contributing, the more you're making a positive impact, contribution, difference to others, the more wealthy you are, the more happy you are, the more at ease and peace within yourself you are. Because you are God's instrument for miracles. It is that simple. The mind, the ego, wants to complicate that because the ego feels disconnected from that which is, and that's not even possible because the ego is coming from ignorance. And so your whole purpose is receiving God and then extending God. You have to breathe in, receive before you can breathe out, give, contribute meaningfully, be of greater service. And that's what your whole life is. So it is really that simple. And yet, okay, so let's go back to raising humans. So you are, and we're all interconnected, and you are that rising tide raising all boats. When you work on yourself, you what? You raise the tide, you make it easier for others to believe in themselves and know how much they matter. And that's what your work is, helping others see how vital they are because they are God's gift to the world just as much as you are, and you're helping them see that, recognize that, be that, by leading your own Operation Greatness chapter at operationgreatness.com/leader. Because this is the higher purpose of you being on the planet now. It's the higher purpose of social media. It's all of us coming together, rejecting that false narrative of disconnection, reconnecting with life, reconnecting with God, reconnecting with our purpose, reconnecting with each other, reconnecting with our power, which is beyond measure. And this is what you're doing. You're feeling, you're owning, you are commanding by raising humans, by becoming the best version of yourself, by transcending all limitation, by becoming unlimited, by letting go of all fear, doubt, worry, by pulling yourself out or reaching for my hand. I'm reaching for you, and all of us are reaching for each other now and pulling each other out of scarcity, fear, lack consciousness, which I call the matrix of fear and limitation. That's all gone now. By every one of us working with each other to be of service to each other, to help everyone come out of that. That's gone. So that's what raising humans is all about from the positive side that we've talked about for most of our 3 parts. And yet there's this other side of the coin. You know, every coin has 2 sides. The flip side of raising humans is that let's just consider, is it possible that since humans first began, there were, let's call them what they are, dark forces that were seeking to control us or enslave us or feed off of our fear, and that they had been creating the systems of society as a way of keeping us from recognizing our true power as you being God's instrument for miracles in the world, with you being unlimited, and your purpose is to receive God, open fully to the unlimited, infinite being you are. And what if these systems of society, which really means systems of control, were designed to make you feel small and helpless and little and weak and alone and disconnected? And then what if the constant barrage from the world was to make you feel not good enough, not whole, not valuable, not worth anything, not deserving of love, happiness, success, peace? What if it was programmed in you by design to feel worthless, unlovable, unworthy? And what if all of that was a complete fraud and was a total lie? And what if that was programmed into you because you came in to the world as the sweet, innocent reflection of that which is beauty, purity, love, goodness? And what if just the control structure had limited that, taken you away from that, manipulated you? And what if this is part of your work, right, is receiving God, going from 0 all the way to 100% open to receiving God and becoming unlimited? And Jesus is the example that I like to use of what 100% open to God is. And Jesus famously said, what are those words again? All these things that I have done, you will do yourself. And then what did he add? And so much more. He challenged every one of us to open fully, to receive, to be the gift. You are God's gift to the world. And this is your purpose. Your work is becoming that gift. And what does that mean? It means being of greater service to more people, such as we're doing this through OperationGreatness.com/leader, with you leading your own Operation Greatness chapter among all of your online friends and everyone in your community, helping them see how much they matter, coming out of scarcity, fear, lack consciousness, where the ego feels disconnected or had felt disconnected, and now it's coming back into cohesion, wholeness, completion with society. I mean, real society, real connection, real community, not this division and hatred, fear, lack, limitation that was self-imposed by, let's just call it the dark forces, or I talk about it as the Satanists, pedophiles, parasites, predators, communists, globalists. Evil is what it is. And yet we've been talking about that other side of things, the dark side of where they were raising humans to feed off of us, and how this is our time to fully shine our light as brightly as the sun. And that means opening fully to God and extending God fully in the world. You're not playing small anymore. You're not living in fear anymore. You're not settling for anything less than what you truly want. You're not holding back because you are afraid, like, oh, what if I stand out, and what if they feel intimidated by me? No, you're raising humans. You're raising everyone you can, all your online friends, everyone you care about, anyone who means anything to you, your whole community, your whole family, your children's school, all of their parents, I mean, doing this, I mean, seriously, you as a family leading your own Operation Greatness chapter and then having your children leading their Operation Greatness chapter as well. And this is the education that all of our schools should be teaching our children how to thrive, how to create any level of success they want. So, for example, with your chapter, and this is by far the most important activity you have done together as a family, and it's the most important responsibility that you have as the parent of your children to teach them how to create anything they want. So, for example, by them paying for their own car, how much more is that car going to mean to them? How much more are they going to believe in their own power because they earned it? How much more pride are they going to take in driving that car, in caring for it, in maintaining it, in taking care of it? I mean, they're going to believe in themselves so much more because they created that. How much more is their education going to mean for them if they earn it for themselves, if they choose to go that route? I mean, let's be real here. Let's call it for what it is. What is the education system about? Is it really to teach your children what they need to know to be positive members of the community, responsible adults, to be contributing more meaningfully, and to create anything that they want, which is what the education system is needing to be, is intended to be, is supposed to be? That's what it's responsible for being, because that's the education that we need our children to have. Or was that bastardized, weaponized, controlled, manipulated, and the education system was really about creating people who are obedient, compliant, do not think for themselves, only think like a communist, because then they're weak. I mean, communism is like cancer. It only survives and then thrives in a body or a system made weak. How is that ever possible to be happening in a country so abundant and which is rooted in freedom as these United States of America? That's totally against everything that we are about, everything we believe in, everything we stand for, like personal power, individual sovereignty, personal responsibility. I mean, this is... So anyway, is it possible that the whole education system is really nothing more than the equivalent for humans as obedience school is for dogs, to get them to come when you snap your fingers and to bark on command and to pee only in this area here, or when I say it's okay? I mean, it's beyond my ability to even comprehend, and yet all of the way we had neglected life and our world and our society and our children and ourselves and our purpose and our connection with life and society and our purpose and our children and each other. I mean, this is why it's so imperative for every one of us now to raise humans up, to get them, to pull them out of this, I call it the muckety-muck, or scarcity, fear, lack consciousness, or the matrix of fear and limitation, for you to be that leader who's pulling everyone in your community out of that, and leading all of your online friends out of that as well, through your Operation Greatness chapter, through operationgreatness.com/leader. Is there anything more required of you than that? Have you ever been asked or invited or given the opportunity to do anything anywhere near that level of importance? I have to say, of course not, because this is it. This is the higher purpose for which you are born, for which you are here on the planet now. This is what your whole life is destined to be. That person who transformed everyone you can reach, everyone connected with you, and there's no limit to that, including not even the limitation of the 8 billion of us on the planet who need this message and need to have that person, you, help them out of that dire, controlled enslavement. So, this is what our third and final lesson in raising humans is all about, and plus with the addition of our fourth message, which is becoming unlimited. This is you making sure that you are standing tall and proud and strong, centered in your power, connected with God, connected with your purpose, connected with everyone on the planet, connected with your family, with your role, with your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, and you're focused and you're motivated and you have made the decision, I am not going to stop until I've transformed 10,000 people, and you might even adjust that upwardly, like 100,000 people. I'm talking about like every one of your online friends and everyone in your local area. So maybe that's 2 million people or 7 million people, or maybe that's just 8 billion people, because you know that by you getting your 10,000 people getting their 10,000 people through your chapter and through their chapters. And what is 10,000 times 10,000? That's what, 100 million people, right? Times getting their 10,000 people, what would that be? That's like is that 1 quadrillion? 1 trillion. I think it's 1 trillion. Because, and anyway, that's more people than we have on the planet, obviously, right? Anyway, so by doing this yourself, and doing this with and for everyone connected with you, because this is by far the greatest contribution you ever made, and this is your life's purpose, it's the higher mission that you have, this is what your whole life is destined to be. You are here to be this inspired visionary leader. All through OperationGreatness.com/leader. So, let's just pause and reflect on, we talked in, this was really poignant, I think. How did this affect you when we talked about this in Raising Humans Part 2, about how, let's just call it what it is again, evil is what I call it, the predators, the parasites, or they're called reptilians by many. These parasites that were feeding off of humanity, that were keeping the human race enslaved, held down in fear, because that's what they feed off of, the low frequencies, the energy of fear is their nourishment. And we talked about this in our last, if you didn't see Part 2 yet, make sure you do, because this is so, it's like a knocking you in the head and getting you to see the light, snapping you out of any illusion or manipulation. And anyway, so where we were talking about how they feeding off of, raising humans like cattle, that's comparable to the way humans had treated animals. I mean, like the industrial farms that just like they don't even let the calves walk or move, or like where they're standing, where they're defecating. And I mean, it's just totally inhumane, obviously. And yet those greedy, selfish, unlovable or unloving they feel like, anyway, the people behind those systems or the control systems that led to this happening, there's nothing humane about it. There's nothing, I mean, it's against all of our core values. It's against America. It's against freedom. And yet that's what this control structure is doing, because we're ending that right here. All of us are coming together and we're being that source of freedom, sovereignty, returning to abundance, prosperity, love, peace, happiness, fulfillment, meaning, well-being. That's your nature. That's how every one of us is here to live. This reminds me of something that was profound that I saw the other day, which was a reference to Archangel Michael. And you know what his role is, like cutting the cords of deceit, limitation, lack, scarcity, hatred, fear, jealousy, greed, envy, cutting through all of that, right? And Archangel Michael is said to have said that all of us can be wealthy. Every human on the planet, there is enough for all of us to be wealthy. That's none of us holding back anymore. None of us living in fear. None of us buying into scarcity, fear, lack consciousness. That's none of us buying into the manipulation from the parasites to fear our neighbor or to take as much as we can from our neighbor. No, we are here to be of service, to be of greater service to everyone connected with us, to everyone there is. Do you see how this message is vitally important for you to hear yourself fully, for you to become unlimited, for you to open all the way from zero, where you are now, wherever that is on that spectrum, as a percentage between 0 and 100, for you to open completely to 100% open to God, and to not hold back or play small or limit yourself in any way ever again, and to never buy into anything from scarcity, fear, lack programming, for you to not be food and to not feed the parasites any of your power, because your power is so focused, is so concentrated, is so directed on leading, inspiring, transforming, and liberating every one of your online friends and everyone in your local area or your whole region through your Operation Greatness chapter that you received yourself through operationgreatness.com/leader. And that is your destiny. That's living and fulfilling your divine design duty, destiny, dharma. That's honoring your reason for being, the higher purpose of your life. And by you directing your power to that through your attention, by making that your singular focus, that is your singular purpose, that's how you are creating your life. So you are withdrawing the parasites from feeding off of you at all, and then you're leading everyone connected with you through making that shift themselves, so they are not feeding any of their power to the parasites. And so just picture this, you getting your 10,000 people, or 100,000, or 1 million, or 10 million, or 100 million people doing this through you, and none of them are feeding the parasites anymore. And what happens, like a wolf, if a wolf has no animals to feed off of anymore, what does the wolf do? It wanders somewhere else, right? So, I mean, think of the parasites now having no one feeding them anymore. So what do? They wander somewhere else. They leave planet Earth, and we don't have that limitation anymore because we ended it, because we are powerful beyond measure. I mean, this was part of my unfolding, part of my awakening to my infinite, unlimited power was hearing this quote. And I remember very clearly when it was. I came to Sedona in July of 99, and I got involved with a church there. And one time the pastor, still remember her name, she was a beautiful woman. I don't even know if she's still alive anymore. Mary Margaret Rose was her name. And she read, I think it was her, it might have been even Ariana. I don't remember exactly now, but anyway, I think Ariana ran the store and Mary Margaret Rose was the pastor primarily. But anyway, the message was, it was a quote from Marianne Williamson in her book Return to Love. And she said, and I want you to hear this as well in case this is as meaningful for you as it was for me. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. I'm getting chills here. We are powerful beyond measure. You, my friend, are powerful beyond measure. You're so much more powerful than you can ever even comprehend or imagine. I just like, whoa. When she said that, I was like, wow. Because I was playing small my whole life. Because I was scared my whole life of being who I am. That was a turning point for me. I want this to be that turning point for you. Will you allow that to be where you are no longer limiting God, oppressing that which is beyond measure, not allowing that, blocking that, obstructing that, standing in the way of that which is who you are meant to be expressing, extending, sharing with the world? Because how could you even think it was possible for you to limit the unlimited? How is that ever appropriate or okay or even possible to comprehend or imagine? How could I think that I could have limited the unlimited? You know that water is meant to flow, and if you put something in the way of that flow, an obstruction, that causes a buildup of pressure, right? And where does that pressure come out? It comes out in something emotionally we call dis-ease, right? When you're flowing with life, and what does that mean? When you're allowing God to work through you because you are God's gift to the world, and you, for your happiness, you need to be that gift, not hold back that gift, not constrict God, the flow of God in your life. You are here to receive and extend God. And when you're in flow, what does that mean? Everything flows to you, including what? Currency, right? What is money other than the currency of life, the flow of God, the expression of God, right? Let's take a moment and just breathe this in. So you're already seeing that you have transformed the lives of your 10,000 or 100,000 or 1 million or 10 million or 100 million people who are leading their own Operation Greatness chapters and being that inspiration in among everyone in their community and all their online friends. And they are leading their chapter through your chapter that you got just as they did at operationgreatness.com/leader. And every one of us is focusing on being that inspired visionary leader in our communities and among all of our online friends. So we are feeding none of our power to the parasites. We're not in fear. We're out of scarcity, fear, lack consciousness, the matrix of fear and limitation. We broke free from that. We pulled ourselves out of it, and we pulled everyone we could out of it as well. So the parasites were starving, and they had to leave. Now every one of us is working together. Like I get the visual of, let's say, not in like the Star Trek series. Let's think of Star Trek The Next Generation. That was to me before they started to get woke, which is the mind virus, which is part of the control structure, the system of predators and parasites. Anyway, let's think of, I get a visual of like Jean-Luc Picard, captain of the USS Enterprise. He's like, he's retired and he's at his winery and he's just enjoying life, reflecting on his adventures, and everyone is just being loving, and there's no crime, there's peace on the planet. And I mean, this is within our future. I think that, like Gene Roddenberry, the original creator of Star Trek, I think he saw this future, and because this is the natural future, he calls it the prime directive, which is that the prime directive is that you are living fully and honoring your divine design, duty, destiny, dharma, giving none of your power to anything you do not want, because that is what you would then create, because you are the powerful creator and you're aware of your power beyond measure, and you're creating everything that you want joyfully, and you're loving it and living it. And all of us are doing that, and society, we can't even imagine how beautiful life on planet Earth is with all of us doing that and living that way. That's your destiny, and your destiny is even more important because you are here to free everyone else to enjoy their power beyond measure themselves. You know that, right? You can feel that, you trust that, you have that inner knowing. Wow, I am that source of freedom. I am leading everyone on planet Earth to know, to love, to enjoy their sovereignty, their freedom, their infinite wealth, their ability to create anything their heart desires, as we are all coming from being of greater service. Breathe that in. This is why you are here. You are that inspired visionary leader, that pioneer, that gift of love. You, my friend, are God's gift to the world. And you're seeing that, and you're owning that, and you are giving that gift. Your life is God's gift to you. What you do with that gift is your gift to God, the world, humanity, the earth, your family, your children, future generations. This is how we are all living now. Now. You're feeling that, you're seeing that. This is where you are feeding your power now. This is what we are together creating now. Chills. You know this is where we are moving now in the world. So you're going to operationgreatness.com/leader, and you are leading your own chapter, and you are giving this your attention now. And you're not holding back. You're playing full out. This is by far the best thing you have done for yourself, for your children, for your family, for the earth, our human family, and for God. You're leading everyone through receiving this fully themselves and doing this fully themselves now. Any question about any of this? This feels like we are whole and complete. This has served its purpose through you serving your purpose. I'm so grateful that I saw this within you, and that you saw this within yourself, and you believed in yourself, trusted in the divine, in God, and you embraced it and honored it completely. And so it is. It is done. Thank you. Thank you.